Curtis Strange is my guest this morning, two-time major champion himself, back-to-back U.S. Opens. Can you think of a better person to talk to about the impact of stress? We'll get to that. He was a five-time member of the United States Ryder Cup team in 83, 85, 87, 89, 95 captain as well. 2002 United States Ryder Cup captain. In fact, 29 professional wins to his credit, 17 of those in the PGA Tour, 598 PGA Tour starts. 75 of those were top 5 finishes. Let that simmer for a second. 129 were top 10 finishes. 78 major championship starts and 12 top 10s, including the wins that I mentioned. Curtis, welcome back to the program. To that question that I was just asking the world, I'd love to get your feedback on it. What is it about the Masters that year after year continues to deliver?
Oh, gosh, I think everybody, you mentioned it a moment ago, but everybody looks so forward to it. We have to remember that everybody that watches us every year knows the golf course as well as we do. They know every break, every tree, every swirl in a piece of wind. They anticipate this. The players know that. The players, when they go in there, know about the history, tradition, the great play, the disasters on the backside. And we look forward to it. And the backside delivers every year, doesn't it? With the par fives, the 16, the par 3, and of course, Amen Corner. It's fun for us as who's been there for a long time to watch and see what really happens. And every year seems to be exciting and a little bit different.
What impresses you more, Curtis? A player that's in full flow and seemingly everything comes easy and they post a remarkable score, or a player who you know as a Hall of Famer yourself and a major champion that you know is not firing on all cylinders, but somehow they turn a 74 into a 68?
Both. I think the 74 and the 68 takes more guts, intestinal fortitude, the little battles that you have to win in your head every day, even when you're shooting 65. But when you're playing like Rory did on Sunday, it was going to be the hardest round of golf he's ever had because it meant so much to him, and he's playing such a explosive player in DeChambeau. But it was going to be the hardest round of golf because it was the hardest round of golf because of what he went through and how he played. He was exhausted after the round. Trust me. He was exhausted yesterday because of what he went through, the mental anguish, the physical toll it takes on you. And I don't mean to talk like I'm a linebacker for the Packers or a running back for the Commanders. I'm just talking about the toll it takes, 5.5 hours, but leading up to it, hours. He didn't sleep well the night before, leading up to it the entire week, the round itself. So it's I'm extremely happy for him that he accomplished the Grand Slam, but it wasn't easy, was it?
Oh, no, it certainly didn't. And it didn't appear to be easy either. The purging of emotions, that cathartic moment when Rory collapsed on the green, screaming and then trembling, I think it connected with a lot of people. Did you expect that level, that degree of emotion? Did that surprise you in any way, or was that perfect for the moment?
I think that's what we're just talking about, the emotion and the relief of all the buildup for, as he says, 11 years, but it's particularly that day. Emotion manifests itself so many different ways. I've never gone through anything like that. But when you finally accomplish something that's really taken a toll on you and lasted for so long, you never know how you're going to react. You don't think about it. You try not to ever think about that and the win because you get ahead of yourself. But when it finally manifests itself, you never know. I thought it was tremendous. I thought it was perfect. How else could he show himself that this was it? And this is absolutely the pinnacle of his career. I don't care what he goes on and does the rest of his life. This will be it because it's the Grand Slam, and it was perfect, wasn't it? It was absolutely perfect.
Curtis, in your golf swing, and there's a reason I'm asking you about this question, because I want to know if in the moments of intense pressure, and you faced them, do your faults in your golf swing come back to haunt you? And if so, what was it with your golf swing? Was there something that during those same moments of intense pressure that you had to say, well, I want to make sure XYZ doesn't happen?
Very good, and that's where the discipline, the practice, and the mental strength comes in, because sometimes it does. It depends on how quickly you've eliminated that fault or whatever it might be, but you go back to your comfort zone. That's anytime you get under pressure, you go back to that, and your comfort zone is that swing that you're trying to eliminate. So you have to be disciplined. You have to be concentrating on. And people say you don't play with mechanics on the golf course. They never played high capacity golf. You think about golf swing during the round because you're always fighting something. If you're mindless out there, you're going to get in trouble. So you want to go back, and you have to be disciplined not to allow it. In my swing, I worked on the same things for so long. I didn't have that problem. I had other issues, not that. But, when you hit one shot that emulates something that was terrible in the past, you correct. You have to correct, but you have to have the guts to do it. And around Augusta National with, the 11 and 12 and 13 with the water, and then 15 with the water, there's places you don't want to miss. So that's what makes it so tough around Augusta National.
How much is a major championship win? How much is any win, for that matter, a matter of just a fickle twist of fate? How much does luck play a part in every single win?
Well, you'd like to play well enough not to have that an issue at all, but that's not the game of golf in which we play. There's always some luck involved every time you go on the golf course. In a round like Rory, I think a couple things. The immediate thing is that he was fortunate that DeChambeau didn't play a good round of golf. I thought DeChambeau would break 70. I thought DeChambeau might go to 67 or 8, which means now Rory's got to play a little bit. He was fortunate that didn't happen. He seemed to get out of it what he should have the other day. Rory is a frustrating golfer in a lot of respects, and that Tiger spoiled us all. He played such good golf, other than some tee shots here and there, but he played so consistently. He never seemed to lose the lead if he had it. He put his thumb on your throat and always admitted that. That didn't happen on Sunday. Rory lost the lead on the first hole, came back at 4 at 5 admirably, lost it again, took to a 4-shot lead to the backside. You think, well, I've got it done. I'm home free. No, you're not. And you're never home free, because you start to protect and those behind start to play aggressive golf. And as we've always seen, Amen Corner, 13 and 15, the reachable par fives. I can't put into words the effect that those two holes play on a 72-hole golf tournament over 4 days. And they always seem to elevate on Sunday.
When you won your 2 consecutive U.S. Opens, Curtis, I'm curious to this idea of stress, to this idea of pressure. When did you feel the most pressure? Trying to close the first time winning the U.S. Open, or trying to close at some point the second time and doing it back-to-back for the first time since Ben?
There were 2 different animals, really. The first one, I had the lead most of the week, playing really well. And so it got to a point where it was expected, almost within me, it was expected on the last 2 days, knowing full well I was playing Nick Faldo. So he wasn't going to give me much. I didn't think I was going to give him much, so it was going to be a good fight. The second one, I was behind. I had nothing to lose. I was 3 behind Tom Kite. I went out there with an attitude of no conservative type shots today, and it paid off. So it was, the first one is such enormous pressure because you haven't proved to yourself yet that you can actually get this done. You haven't proved to your colleagues. You haven't proved to the world that you think you're a better player than you are right now. And you only can do that by winning tournaments or winning majors. And so the first one was enormous pressure, especially going to an 18-hole playoff that's so magnified, every shot you hit. I think that's the only round of golf in my life that I never settled in and got comfortable. And it wasn't Nick. It was the golf course. It was for the U.S. Open. It was a windy day. It was everything was going to be so magnified, especially if you lost. So that was a tough round.
I suspect you already answered this question then when you talked about, hitting thousands and thousands and thousands of golf balls. But how do you perform when you can't feel your hands?
Oh, I never get like that. I think that what happened to me is that my rhythm seemed to get off a little bit. And I never had much problem at all with rhythm in my entire life because I had a long, slow swing. But when my rhythm got off, my hands were a little sweaty. How do you describe a feeling that you're really not comfortable with? And I remember the first tee in the playoff because it was the first tee, and it was because it was the start of the round. And I actually made about a 4 or 5 footer for par on the first hole, and it's the grandest relief I don't know how it went in. I shook it in, but I don't know how it went in, but it went in. And so there's these things that we can laugh about now. They aren't funny at the time. You're fighting for everything you have to control this. And this is what you've trained for. This is what it was all about all those years dreaming about it. And so you do your best, and sometimes it's not good enough. I can't do anything if my opponent plays really well. So there's luck involved, as you said, but there's also the ability to control yourself, hit good shots, and make a few putts.